Phil's doing a pro show?
Phil, this is what I heard. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Phil's doing a pro show. Maybe you should cut this out. I don't know if this is supposed to be public.
Well, now it is.
What's up, Desktoppers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another bodybuilding news video. I'm going to kick it off with the competitors list from the 2023 Vancouver Pro Open Men's Bodybuilding, but it's a pretty small competitors list. We only got 6 names on the list. I'll go through it. We've got Prince Boabang, we've got Aaron Gooley, Stanimal, Stan Delonge from the Bodybuilding University podcast, Morgan McDonald, Hassan Mustafa, and Nate Spear. So, got to be incredibly disappointing for the promoters, but it does create an opportunity for one of these guys to qualify for 2023 Mr. Olympia. Obviously, Hassan Mustafa will probably come in as the favourite after he tied just the other weekend with Phil Heath for that win. Unfortunately, he lost as they went off basically who looked best at the finals, and that was Phil Heath, who basically clean swept the finals, as Hassan Mustafa clean swept the pre-judging. Obviously, the looks of them both changed between pre-judging and finals. And also, I would be normally doing lives for this on Desktop Bodybuilding. However, the price of the pay-per-view is $50 Canadian for the pre-judging and $70 Canadian for the finals. Also, I believe the price is the same and you have to buy them separately for the amateur as well. So it makes it a little bit too expensive for most fans to actually watch this. I assume family members and friends might pay to watch this, but it is the middle of the night for me and going live probably just doesn't make sense. However, I will be doing a pre-judging and a finals review, so make sure you do subscribe to Desktop Bodybuilding for all your news from the 2023 Vancouver Pro. In our next story, we've got an update from John Jewett, who I believe is an Olympia contender this year in the 212s. He's 6 days out of the Atlanta Pro and 5 days out in some of these other updates as well, looking really good. He's in condition. He wasn't actually planning on doing this show. As he was ready early, he thought, why not jump into the Atlanta Pro? And it's a pretty good quality lineup, as you guys can see on the screen right now. And I've got to say, John Jewett has to be the favorite going in, but I'm seeing some updates from some of these other guys, like Jason Herbert and whatnot, and they're looking really, really good as well. So it's not a foregone conclusion that John Jewett wins this one, but he definitely has to go in as the favorite. Now, we've got an update from another Olympia contender for the 212s, and that is from Keone Pearson, who guest posed this weekend at the Twin Cities Open, and he looked really, really good. I mean, there was a bit of blue lighting in terms of when he was guest posing, so it was a little bit harder to tell than normal in terms of conditioning and whatnot. But when you see him move around the stage, you can sort of see he's in great condition for 6 weeks out of a Texas Pro, which he's doing this year to hopefully obviously qualify for that 2023 Mr. Olympia, which I don't think many people think that he'll have an actual issue with. And you can see this other update as well where he looks really, really damn good. You can see him in conditioning. You can see he's got more muscle on his physique. His posing is spectacular, as you guys can see in the guest posing footage. And I've got to say that, Keone last year, I believe he placed around 5th in that 212 Olympia. I can only imagine he's going to move up as well with this extra muscle. Most likely he's going to bring extra conditioning, and his posing is always flawless. So I'm very excited. And Keone is one of those physiques which is like a once-in-a-lifetime flex wheeler type physique. You don't see a guy like this come around very often, and if he can nail that conditioning, he could be our 2023 212 Olympia champ. Now, another man who was guest posing over the weekend and is also doing that Texas Pro, I believe he's doing Tampa as well, and that's Hunter Labrada. A guy who's come as high as 4th in the Olympia. He'll be looking to jump back into that top 5, as Nick Walker believes he will this year, and he's looking really good. He's obviously changed up the way he preps. He's not doing the huge amount of shakes and drinking his meals this year like he was in previous years, and it's really showing on his physique. Whatever he has done, if that's the only difference, and that's why he's looking so much better, then he should definitely stick to doing what he's doing, because the changes in Hunter is really, you can see them. His back looks bigger, midsection looks smaller, and he's really, I suppose, improving the weaknesses and balancing out his physique. So you got to take your hat off to Hunter Labrada for how he's looking. And as always, in his guest posing, he's wearing that cap, which I always find slightly unusual, but it doesn't matter. It definitely works for him. Now, I've got an update on Vitaliy Ugolnikov, aka GoodVito's injury after he jumped off stage guest posing just last weekend. And this was actually posted by Old School Maraba News, which is an Instagram page that focuses on Brazil bodybuilding. And it says new updates about the injury of our dear GoodVito. And in quotations, this is obviously all translated as well. It says, the ligaments are not broken, but they are very twisted. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's lost in translation by saying very twisted, but it seems like he's got some strained ligaments. Essentially, that's what I sort of take away from it. So that's good news. I have heard that it's not as serious as well. I saw that in another update by another page. And it says in another post, at The Real Technician, which is Chris Aceto, which is Vitaliy Ugolnikov, aka GoodVito's coach, says discharged from hospital after exams. He thanked the fans for their support and is 100% confirmed in Europe Pro and Yamamoto Pro and the commands of blah, blah, blah. So it sort of goes on to talk about that. So he is still doing that pro show in 12 weeks, and he's not going to be the only good name and big name in that contest. We've got several others. So Regan Grimes is actually doing that European Pro as well, and here's an update from him on the screen right now where he's looking really, really good. And another guy doing it as well is Bruno Santos, who's looking really, really good. He's also doing a show prior to this too, so we're going to get a preview of him before he actually steps on stage at the European Championships as well. So guys, let me know in the comments, who do you think will win? Because Regan Grimes is a pro contest winner. And I think many believe GoodVito is going to be absolutely phenomenal on stage. And I heard in a recent podcast that Fouad Abiad believes that GoodVito will actually be a future Mr. Olympia, as you can hear here.
But I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I saw a picture of GoodVito a couple days ago. That kid's going to be a Mr. Olympia one day. I don't know if you guys see it, but I've never seen somebody with those proportions.
I have to see him in person one time before I say anything.
I wouldn't jump on that. Yes, V-taper, flaring, quads, everything is happening. But
you know what? Dennis is right. I need to see him in a lineup before I make that statement. Yeah. But on Instagram.
So that's huge praise, and you can see the latest updates as well from GoodVito, and you can actually see him as well in a second. I'll pop up on the screen. GoodVito is actually back in the gym, and he's having his knee held while he's doing back. So I don't know if this is incredibly safe or what, but hopefully that GoodVito is back in the gym. Hopefully it is safe enough for him to still train, but I did find it a little bit, I don't want to say crazy or insane, but he's actually doing like low cable rows on back where it's actually all the strains going through your legs. I mean, doing like a seated machine row, I think would be a little bit safer in many regards if you have to have your knee actually held there. But I mean, he's back in the gym, shows dedication, but hopefully he doesn't do any more damage on that knee. And let me know who you think will win between GoodVito, Regan Grimes, and Bruno Santos at that 2023 European Championships. And in our last story, is Phil Heath doing a pro show? So Fouad Abiad may have let that slip on the latest episode of the Menace podcast with Mila Sarchev and Dennis James. I'm going to go to that. I'm going to react to what Fouad Abiad had to say.
Like what part of the year?
April. It's 1 week. I think Phil Heath has a show mid-April. I think April 14th. And we're the week after. So April.
So it's just so you might get a couple of guys from the Arnold too.
Well, what I'm hoping is, because the Phil show is like, because there's the Arnold, then there's the Arnold UK.
Right.
And then 2 weeks after the Arnold UK, or 2 or 3 weeks after the Arnold UK is Phil's show. So I'm hoping if some Europeans come to do Phil's show, because Phil's going to be offering more prize money too, I heard.
What Phil is doing a pro show?
Phil, this is what I heard. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Phil's doing a pro show.
So when Fouad says that Phil's doing a pro show, obviously it doesn't mean that he's competing in a pro show. It means he's putting on a pro show, and he said he heard there's more prize money as well. So I don't know how big this pro show is going to be. We know Phil Heath's obviously associated and previously, or maybe currently, managed by The Rock and The Rock's management company as well, which is obviously involves his ex-wife. So I don't know if this is something where, obviously we heard a few years ago that The Rock was going to put on, Athleticon, which was going to host a huge bodybuilding show, which the prize money reportedly was going to be absolutely enormous with a whole expo and all that sort of stuff. So maybe it involves The Rock somewhat, but this is actually huge news. And the fact that Phil Heath's putting on a pro show, reportedly, obviously, Fouad Abiad's putting on a pro show, the Detroit Pro. This is huge news for bodybuilding, and it seems like it's going to be a lot more money around the start of the year. We heard the Arnold Classic UK is coming back as well. So we're going to have 4 big shows to kick off the year next year if all this goes through. So this is huge news for bodybuilding, and hopefully it gets more of these pros competing at the start of the year, because we haven't seen it in the last couple of years.
And I heard it's supposed to be more prize money than normal. So maybe you should cut this out. I don't know if this is supposed to be public.
Well, now it is. No, I'm gonna be like Fouad. Now it is.
Well, you know what? It's publicity for Phil, so I don't care.
But you said maybe. You don't know. You don't even know if it's
No,
true.
I don't know for sure. This is what I'm hearing. I don't know for sure.
Now Fouad Abiad's obviously putting on a pro show. I assume this probably is true, this news. The fact that he's obviously putting on a pro show, he's involved with the NPC IFBB. I assume that this contest is actually going to happen, or at least is in the works or is in plan to happen. I can't imagine Fouad's heard this and it's been some sort of false rumor.
So we're supposed to be the week after that. So I'm hoping whoever comes to do Phil's show, we can get them to come to do our show. Maybe we pay for their flights to come to our show, whatever. Like we'll figure something out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would Phil's show be then? In Texas?
I think it's Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he has his amateur show.
Yeah. Look, like I said, I don't know if this is in stone. It's just what I heard.
So obviously it's just what Fouad has heard, but to me, the fact that he heard there's going to be more prize money, that it's going to probably be in Texas, all this sort of stuff, I imagine this is actually something that's happening. I'm sort of surprised they didn't cut this out as well, because this is the first anyone, I believe, has actually heard of this, apart from maybe, talk around the industry. But we haven't heard anything announced from Phil Heath, the NPC IFB, or at least I haven't anyway. If you guys have heard anything, leave it in the comments below. But I think this is the first we're hearing about this. But this is great news for bodybuilding. I love when bodybuilders stay involved in the industry. I love, obviously, what Fouad Abiad is doing, putting on his pro show, offering, reportedly more prize money, $20,000 for the first place finisher instead of the standard sort of low prize money of $10,000 for the winner. If Phil Heath's offering more money, maybe it's even more than what Fouad Abiad's offering. It might be, a really big show where he's offering $50K or $40K for first place. Who knows? I don't know any of those details, obviously, as yet. I will reach out to Phil Heath as well and see if I can get a response and see if he has any extra details or when he might be announcing further details on this contest. So I'll let you guys know as soon as I find out here on Desktop Bodybuilding. So make sure if you did enjoy this video, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself here, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, including all my coverage of this weekend's Vancouver Pro and updates on the Phil Heath Classic, which I assume it would be called. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'm Xavier Wills. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.